5 months ago, gear acquisition syndrome hit me hard. Hit me really hard. And I broke down and I bought another guitar. And this time I bought an ESP LTD 87 Deluxe. This guitar is basically supposed to be a copy of the guitars they released in 1987, the Super Shredder guitars. And this is totally a Super Shredder in every way. The specs are an alder body, 3-piece maple neck, ebony board. It's got a Seymour Duncan distortion, and it has a Seymour Duncan hot rails, and it has a coil split. And the coil split on this hot rails sounds way fucking good. By the way, Dave Murray of Iron Maiden, he uses this in his neck, even though back in the day they always used DiMarzios. Did you see this finish? One of the reasons that I bought this guitar is because I'm a really big fan of a band called Watchtower. They were a technical metal band in the 80s, and they still exist. Their guitarist, Rob Jarzombek. That dude always built his own guitars, so you can't really go out and buy a guitar like his. But if you check his specs, he would always have an alder body on a lot of them. He would use a maple neck that was bolted on. He would also have only one pickup in his guitar, and it would usually be this right here, the Seymour Duncan distortion. That's what he used for years and years and years and years and years. In fact, he did use a super distortion by DiMarzio for a very short time before this, but he kept getting feedback. And currently right now, I think he's using an Evolution. So that's one of the main reasons I bought this guitar, because I wanted something similar to his. And this has an insane paint job, and he always puts insane paint jobs on all of his guitars. He always has a Floyd Rose and that pickup. Did you see this finish? What did I not like about this purchase? The first thing I disliked about the purchase was, and I bought this brand new, is there's binding around this thing. And the binding up under, right here on the edge, is loose. It's not all the way on. And it also, my 6th and 5th string buzzed open when I got it. And that's an indicator of either A, the nut is cut too low, or B, you've got the neck is bowed back too far and it needs neck relief. So the first thing I did with trying to set it up is I adjusted the neck and I got it right, and it was still doing it. And then I would give it a little more relief and a little more relief. And before you know it, I'm giving it way too much relief, ending up with high action. I'm adjusting the bridge, I'm doing all this crap. After 4 months of having the guitar, I finally decided I think the nut, was cut too low. So I bought some Floyd Rose shims, and I put a shim put it under the locking nut here, which raised it just a tiny amount. Then I did my setup like I normally would. I adjusted the neck to 0.010. 7th fret, feeler gauge, and straight edge. Not eyeballs, because they can't see nothing. Especially 0.010, man. Come on. You're not adjusting that with your eyes. Use a feeler gauge. Then I adjusted the bridge to where it should be, and boom, it was great. I didn't have fret buzz anymore. Every once in a while now, I'll get a tiny bit on the 6th string if I play really hard, but for the most part, no. Open, it's great now, the notes are ringing out clean. This is a $1,150 guitar. I feel like the binding should have been caught during their quality check, and the nut, that should have been addressed. But I have fixed all that, and it plays really, really good. It's one of the best playing guitars in my house, and as far as tone, as I mentioned in the beginning of this, it has some of the best tone of any guitar. What am I saying? My subjective and relative opinion of this guitar is based on all the guitars I've owned in my life. I've owned around 200 electric guitars, and I currently own a lot of electric guitars in this house, and I played it side by side against all of those, and I'll show you what I played it against. This right here is a Strandberg Metal 6 NX model. It's a Strandberg Metal 8 NX. Gibson, Tony Iommi, Monkey SG. ESP LTD Black Metal F model. ESP Edwards Viper. Woodwright Warlord. BCRich Ironbird. MK2 Prophesy series. Hammer Studio, the BCRich Warlock that I bought off a homeless guy for 40 bucks back in the year of 2000. This right here is the first guitar I ever got, 1987. This is a Hondo, which does not make good guitars. And all you people on Reverb that keep trying to charge people a lot of money for Hondos, y'all need to be beat to death. Because these were generic guitars when they came out back in the day in the 80s. I only have this one because it was my first guitar. Ingle Ritchie Blackmore head. I have a Laney Pro Tube lead 50-watt head, and I run it into this Jens Benz 2x12 with bass ports. A Marshall JCM 800 and a Laney Pro Tube AOR 30-watt. This is a PV Classic 30, and I know that a lot of people would associate this with blues, but if you slam this amp with a hot pickup and a tube screamer, you'll get an extremely good thrash metal sound. It's the pedal board that I use with my Laney AOR. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. Nothing like the mess that my Marshall board is. See that? That's a fucking mess. Jeez. The HX Stomp by Line 6 and a Haunting Mids by JHS. That's my digital rig. Not only is there a lot of great death metal and black metal CDs and demo tapes, you'll find the Old School Pod 2.0. The reason I showed you all the guitars I currently have and the amps I have would give you an idea or perspective on what I'm basing my opinions of this guitar on. As far as playability is concerned, this guitar plays very, very good. The action's good. The tone is outstanding. I love this. I do wish that the tone pot, like you pull the tone pot out and it splits does the coil tap. I wish that they had put a 5-way selector in so I could just select to that quicker instead of pulling this up and then moving to my neck pickup, because that's the only one I use it on. Should you buy it? No. You should drive to a store and try every guitar in the store and find which one plays the best and which one sounds the best with your equipment. That's the only way you're going to truly be happy with a guitar. And you know, I see people doing reviews all the time, and they don't do real reviews, or at least I don't think they are. For example, everyone should have one of these, a fret rocker, and you should be checking all the frets. Like, let me check the frets right now. So we've got a 10th fret and a 13th fret that's slightly high, only by a little bit. That's pretty decent. I checked the whole board. All the rest of them are level. Those two could be slightly leveled and recrowned, and the guitar would probably play a little bit better if that was done to it. That's what people should do in a real review. Instead of a shiny, happy review, look at my great guitar, oh, I love it. You should tell people the truth. So this guitar had binding coming off right here at the bottom. It had a nut that was too high. The 13th fret is slightly high and the 11th fret slightly high. In the end, am I happy with my purchase? I am now. It took me 5 months to get happy with it though, because for the first 4 months I was fighting this bitch to try to get it set up right. You saw me buy an Ironbird a few months back, BCRich Ironbird. That guitar I had to fight a bit too. It also has a high fret on it. The 3rd fret on the 1st and 2nd string area of the 3rd fret is high. All the other frets are level. If you play up and down the neck, no fret buzz at all now, except at that one spot where there's a high fret on that Ironbird. So that guitar cost, the Ironbird, I think it was $1,150 or $1,200. This was $1,150. They're about the same price. If the house was on fire right now, I would grab this one and run out. I'd leave the Ironbird behind. I like the fucking Ironbird, don't get me wrong, but this has a neck pickup, so it's way more useful to me. I want both pickups, plus, I don't know, I just want both fucking pickups. All right, so these guitars cost the same, basically. And there's like maybe a $50 difference in the price of these two guitars. This guitar, the neck, feels better than the Mirage neck. It's faster. Like I can play fast, but it's marginal. It's so small. The Mirage is extremely good. It plays really good. But the neck on this thing, I think they call it a Shredzilla, is really damn fast. I mean, it is a shred neck. But the, hear that buzz right there? That's the 3rd fret, because the 4th fret is literally high. If I put the fret rocker on it, you'll see that it's bullshit. Hear that rocking? There should be no rocking. You need to buy yourself one of these. Don't buy yourself another guitar until you buy a fret rocker. Take this fret rocker with you everywhere. Check the frets of all the guitars before you buy them. And go in a store and fuck with them too. Be like, hey man, yeah, I want to buy a guitar. And you walk over, you pull a fret rocker out, bitch, you're gonna get nervous. You're gonna start sweating. Pop it on there. Put it back on the wall. Yeah, that guitar's no good, man. I can't pay you that price. You got fucking 15 different frets on it or high. Or 5 or 4 or 3 or whatever. You shouldn't have any though. I think the Ironbird plays faster. It's more shred-tastic, say that. But it's only a slightly bit more shred-tastic than this. This plays really good too. This one sounds better than that guitar. I'm not gonna fucking lie about it. It just sounds better. And it's more diverse because I've got the neck pickup so I can use that as well. This guitar costs twice as much as both of those guitars. And it plays better than both of them. Playability, fucking incredible. Ergonomics, incredible. Light as fuck all. This thing weighs maybe 4 pounds. I love the cuts on it. Out of all the guitars in my house, I consider this to be the most ergonomic guitar in the house. Easiest. My back doesn't hurt when I play it. My arms don't hurt my body. Everything about this is fantastic. And it sounds really, really good. But I prefer the tone of the Mirage. And I prefer the tone of the Ironbird. And I don't know why. I don't know if tone is actually... Maybe tone exists in the headstock. And removing the headstock took all the tone away. I don't know. Or could it be the fact that they're selling $2,000 guitars made of ass wood that they chamber and then just put a little bitty piece of maple on the top? Could that be the reason I don't like the tone? I don't know. These are Sir Doug Aldrich pickups, which are not cheap, which people go, oh, they're great, they're great. However, they were designed to be put in a Les Paul guitar, not a guitar like this. I hate to be trashing Strandberg like that because this is the most ergonomic guitar in the house. It is the fastest guitar, stays in tune better than any of the other guitars. It has so much going for it. I just don't care for the tone. And I have replaced the pickups once. I put some Seymour Duncan Black Winters in here thinking that was going to fix it. No, it sounded worse with the Black Winters than it did with these. These Doug Aldriches definitely sound better than those in this guitar. It sounds really, really good tapped. Obviously, nothing will beat a true single coil, but this gets really close. I love the tone of this guitar. It is one of the best sounding guitars in my house right now. Did you see this finish? Wrong shit. Fuck. God fucking damn it. Fuck, fucking goddamn.